Dallas Bar Association will provide several free wheels. If you need to come and get a wheel completed on site, they will do that. They'll have several attorneys there. We'll also have information regarding fair housing and about renters' rights. So that would be, again, Saturday, April the 23rd at Tanel Atkins' office. We will use that whole suite. And we will also have voters registration. So if anyone is interested in participating, if you have anything in those areas, I shared the link in the chat. So just click on the chat and see if that's something that you're interested. If you want a table or something, of course, we would love to have vendors there. If you have something around social justice, around housing, legal issues, voting, elections, those types of things. So if you're interested, please let me know. And that's my last announcement. Oh, no, it's not my last announcement. Oh my God. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my county precinct judge hat on. We're hosting a fundraiser for a candidate. And that's just me, Dallas County Precinct Chair, Dr. Lavetta Levels is having a fundraiser for a candidate, Jasmine Crockett. And if anyone is interested, let me know. I've posted it everywhere. But if you need information regarding that, let me know as well. And that's going to be Sunday, March the 27th. Now I'm done.
Dr. Levels, I don't see you. Hi there, good to see you. I think you mentioned that you dropped something in the chat. I don't see it. Does anybody else see?
I think it was a Facebook link. You may have joined after I placed it in there, so you may not see it. Does anyone else see it? I'll post it again.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
I see it.
Thank you. Hey, Chris.
Hey there, guys. I'm attending while at work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jackson.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Levels. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. I hope today has been productive. Before we go to our next bullet point, does anyone have any additional occurrences or issues that they saw on election day that weren't mentioned by Dr. Levels that we should make notice to?
Sean, let me ask you, were you on when President Diane talked about their event? He wasn't on. Yeah, Diane, if you would just give a quick summary so Sean knows about the event that the League of Women Voters are having.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Hi, Sean, how are you?
Doing great.
If you go all the way to the top of the chat, I pasted in the information. Basically, there were two items I talked about. One is that on Tuesday, April 12th, we're trying to get together some sort of action to recognize election heroes. And then the second item is that tomorrow evening, we will be collecting people's input on their experiences at the primary elections. That will be, you can register for that. It's a virtual on Zoom. Go to www.lwvdallas.org and then go to events and the event calendar to sign up.
I put that in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And of course, Diane, this is Crystal Bates. I always
Crystal.
help. You got my, yeah, so just contact me in advance so I can start early with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm always available. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Perfect, sounds good. Love to hear it. Our next point is just some data points on election turnout. And Ruben Griffin and I spoke earlier today, and we're gonna go more into detail on social media for the sake of time today. We're gonna do a Zoom, but we're gonna stream it for everyone to see on Facebook Live so it can be shared out on the voter turnout in particular precincts and particular counties and compare it by generation in addition to locations of the city. But high level, just looking at Texas, I'll share some numbers. I'm sure everyone on this call is pretty much aware of the turnout, but just in case that you are not.
Shonda, you need to share your screen, or are you good?
I think his phone just dropped, unfortunately.
Okay. While Sean is reconnecting, I apologize. I'm going to play Councilman Thomas was being nice today and he didn't want to announce it, but just a reminder, we are a nonpartisan coalition. We do have other people on the call and we don't want to block any opportunities. I apologize. I love you all, but I just need to step up and make sure to say that for anybody that is new to our call, we are nonpartisan and we normally don't allow any candidate information being shared. So we wouldn't want you all to think that we do allow it, okay? I love you all and y'all know I know y'all love me too.
While we're waiting on Sean, let me kick it off because I'll do my presentation real quick. Can you allow me to share the screen?
I can.
Thank you. You all, my name is
I'll go after you.
Benjamin Jackson. I'm here to do a little points on education. In my experience with this last March primary, one of the things I just like doing simple things to encourage people to get out and mobilize to vote. One of the things we have to start promoting are sample ballots, and then we also have to promote dates. Two simple things that will help us to increase voter mobilization, because a lot of people we run into will ask, what am I voting on? And then what are the dates? So I think if we could start showing people how to get a sample ballot early, then pull the League of Women Voters a guide, then you're able to do the research that you want to do on the candidates that you're running for. And like the next primaries, well, let me share my screen real quick and get started with my talking points. Quick little presentation. Are you all able to see my screen?
No.
Not yet.
I guess it would help if I would pick a screen to share. You think after a year or two, we'd be able to do this. Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Excellent. One of the things that's going to be on the ballot come the May 7th election is two constitutional amendments. So one of the things when you go to, like Dr. Levels talked about Delta Sigma Theta and their impact day and how they're having people come in for voter registration, come in with other things to do their wills. This is a large crowd where you want to try to let them know, hey, there are going to be 2 amendments on your sample, on your ballot. You might want to study up on the issues on what's going on. One of the propositions that's going to be on there is about property taxes. Proposition 1 would draw property taxes for elderly and disabled Texas by reducing the amount they have to pay to public schools, which is typically makes up the majority of a homeowner's tax bill. So the question is going to be property tax limited for elderly and disabled residents. If you support yes, then that means you're going to support amending the state constitution to authorize the state legislation to reduce the property tax for school maintenance and operation taxes on elderly and disabled residents. And they reflect a rate reduction enacted by the law by the preceding year. So they'll get a reduction in their taxes while they file their homestead. If you vote no, then they're not able to limit those taxes. And anytime there's a tax increase or anything, then the elderly and the disabled would have to pay that. So that's going to be Proposition 1. That's going to be on your constitutional ballot all across the state of Texas. And then 2 is going to be for all homeowners. The legislation decided that they want to give homeowners a tax break. So this Proposition 2 would increase the homestead exemption for school district property taxes from $25,000 to $40,000. This increased exemption would take effect on January 1st, 2022. Applies to only to a tax year beginning on or after that date of January 1st, 2022. Second measure will raise Texas homestead exemption from that amount and would actually help save in a cost of $176 on annual property tax. So if you support that, then by all means vote yes, which is going to increase the home exemptions for you And if no, you oppose that because maybe there may be a low influx of school money and the legislature may not fund money for schools, then you would vote no. So these are the two propositions that's going to be on there. We want to make awareness around what's on the ballot. A lot of people like to know what's on there. So if you have someone who's elderly or over 65, they need a decrease in their property taxes, you would want to support Proposition 1. If you're a homeowner and you want to lower your property taxes, you would support Proposition 2. Or if you're a proponent of education, then you might want to say no because you don't trust the legislature to fully fund the decrease in the budget around education. Second thing we want to bring awareness to is the election calendar. Dallas County Elections has put out an election calendar for the rest of the year. One of the things that we can do to increase voter mobilization is educating people around election dates and times. Some people said that, early voting was 8 to 5, and that's not, they didn't know it was 8 to 5, it's usually 7 to 7. Generally, the first week is 8 to 5, and the second week is 7 to 7. But hey, if we can get this information out now, people already know what times I can go and where I can go to vote. So May 7th, there's going to be the joint election. Many of your school board elections will be on that sample ballot. You see what's going around with a lot of people around the issue of education. So it's important that you get out there and support people who respect your values and your views around school board elections. There will be city council races in a lot of places. So that's why we have to promote sample ballots and let people know the May 7th election, last day to register is April 7th, 2022. Early voting is April 25th through May 3rd, and you'll all see those election times during that time period. The runoff election, that's going to be the last day to register to vote and participate, and that is April 25th. Early voting is May 16th through May 20th, which is a shorter window. So we got to let people know in a runoff, you don't get 2 weeks, you're only going to get the 16th through the 20th. So it's so important. We're trying to build consistent voters to let them know in May, we're going to be voting 2 times. This is what's going to be on the ballot. So let's continue to promote those dates and time periods as well. So ballot information, I was kind of hesitant because highlight what Crystal said, we don't support candidates and we're nonpartisan. And so there are some races that I'm just key focus that I want to focus on. But just to bring awareness around it, especially May 7th, you have Proposition 1 and 2. They'll be on the ballot, Dallas Independent School District elections, Arlington. A lot of your major school board elections are going to be happening on the May 7th ballot. So you definitely want to pull that. May 24th, definitely as the southern sector of Dallas, for one political party, they'll be having a congressional race. And so definitely want to bring awareness in that around the Texas Attorney General for a political party. They're having that race on a runoff. Lieutenant Governor, Railroad Commissioner, municipal elections, and especially House District 100 and 114. There are a couple of runoff races that I want to bring key awareness around. And that's it for me as far as education. Next month, what I would hope to bring awareness around is who's running for what positions and what key races you just want to highlight for the community. But if anything, promote sample ballots, promote how to pull a sample ballot, and we'll show that next month. And then also start now promoting election dates, especially early voting. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, for sharing that information. Sean, has Sean been able to get back on? And I see Ms. Belt. I don't know if you already made an announcement. Will you have Monday Night Politics during the runoff time? Did you make an announcement earlier?
No, I didn't make an announcement earlier, and I'll have to let you know later.
Okay. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
But you can go to the Dallas Examiner for future information and on the Monday Night Politics when those dates get scheduled and those races that'll be virtual for you to watch right there from the comfortability of your home. And a lot of things that we were talking about during this past election, a lot of people were saying they didn't know who was running. Here's a way for you to get the information and be proactive about your sample ballot, and you'll know who to vote for and make an educated guess instead of just looking at last names. Thank you.
And I want to thank Benjamin for the information that he gave, because the sample ballot is very, very important. the Dallas Examiner will put, as soon as all of the elections are certified and we know definitely who's in the runoff, we will put sample ballots for the southern sector on our website, which will go over to our app. We have an app now you can download on your phone, the Dallas Examiner, and you can go click on voter information, and you will be able to see the sample ballots, because as Benjamin said, that's very, very important that people know the dates of the elections, and also that they have an opportunity to look at the ballot before they go to the polls.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Sean is re-entering. While he's entering, if it's okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share. Ruben's on the call. Ruben, do you want to go ahead now?
Sure, I can go.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Do you need to share your screen or anything?
I don't need to share my screen.
Okay, great.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we are pushing for our net at the poll activation on Sunday, May 1st. We're really going to be working with our churches to really engage them in souls to the polls on May 1st, since that is the only weekend in the May election cycle during early voting. So building upon what Brother Jackson shared with you all earlier about those dates, they are definitely affecting us wanting to do 2 activations, one for the local elections that include city council and school board elections and amendments, as well as the runoff election. The runoff election is only doing early voting Monday through Friday. And because we wanted to lean on the churches and different civic organizations, we took data from our previous activations, and Saturday is just not a good day. So we're hoping that Sunday is a better day, especially since most of these groups will already be organized and assembled, that after they attend worship between 2 and 6 p.m., they can activate at their adopted polling location for their at the poll activation. So you'll see more information regarding meetings for us to collaborate and for us to make sure that we're organized to be able to do multiple polling route, at the poll caravan, at the different adopted polling sites. So everyone, please mark your calendars for Sunday, May 1st, and we will be bringing Pat the Polls back for our local election activation in May.
Ruben, let me ask you a question around as far as back to polls. When are you going to begin having your meetings with organizations / faith-based, groups, churches that are going to be participating? When are you going to start your initial meetings so you can, explain to them the process and they can, get the word back to their membership?
Hopefully we can start having a meeting next week. The ones that attended the last meeting, I need to get an email out to them to see if the Thursday meeting time is best for them. There were some conflicts that arise, so hopefully next week. But definitely, we're hoping to plan and meet during the month of April. Full drive, mostly every week. That way, everybody's aware. We have check-ins, and we're getting people signed up. So if anyone's interested, what I would tell you to do in the interim between now and that first meeting is find you a group of 10 people who have 10 cards, so that you all can adopt a polling location that best serves, your area or that group's service area.
Okay, great. And I can follow with you offline if I have any other questions. All right, thank you, Ruben. Sean is on by phone, so Sean.
Thank you. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Were there any other questions for Ruben? and pack the polls? Okay, if not, we'll go back to voter registration. And if we've done this already, somebody correct me so we don't duplicate what we've done.
No, we won't turn. We're leaving that for you.
Okay, perfect. So our voter hubs are still a go, and we are looking to start back our voter hubs next Saturday. So not this Saturday coming up, but the following Saturday, which is the 26th. And then additionally, again, on April the 2nd. If you're an organization, I can't see the chat, but if you're an organization or a person who wants to volunteer for one of those days, write comment in the chat so someone can notate it and reach out to you. And we will get you everything that you need to be at those sites registering voters. We want to do voter registration year round, so if you're able to, please continue to ask your organizations and groups if they can hold down a site for a particular Saturday or not. The goal is to do Saturday voter registration hubs and then Sunday canvassing activations at apartment complexes. We haven't been able to kind of get this off the ground yet, just because of we haven't found the volunteer commitment to do canvassing, but we're going to give it a shot again. And I'm not sure if Councilman Thomas said during his update, but we're focusing on 2 specific precincts for this runoff election to try to have an influence and impact on. And one of those precincts will be in House District 100, and another will be in the southern part of the county in Congressional District 30. Were there any groups on the phone call who are interested in signing up for a voter hub for next Saturday?
I'll reach out to the League Dallas and see. And I'm putting my email in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, anyone else? Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, via Facebook Live or Facebook stream, Ruben and I will create a Zoom stream where we'll share the voter election results for different counties and just break it up and have a conversation around that. So be on the lookout for that. I don't think it'll be a good presentation if you don't have a visual to go along with it today, but we'll definitely do that on Facebook, and that way you'll be able to share it with your followers and your following and network on Facebook as well. But before we move on, I did want to mention that the turnout for Dallas County, and it was 15.66%, 217,000 people turned out to vote in the primary election here in Dallas County. I'm gonna move really quickly and go to break it down really quick from Republican to Democrat. For Texas, give me 1 second, I'm pulling it up. Okay, and that number is 11.3% for Republican and 6.2% for Democrat, and then 82.6% for those who did not turn out, and that's 2022. And that's 17.5% of all registered voters in Texas, which is about 17.2 million. Last thing I'll count out, because I know these numbers are just numbers without the visual. Last thing I'll point out is comparing it to 2020 and 2018 really quickly. 2020, which was a presidential election, the turnout was 25.3 during the primary, which is a little bit about 7 to 8 points higher than the turnout during this this primary election. And looking at the difference, it looks like more people are registered to vote, but more people have registered to vote, so a greater percentage have voted, but the actual amount of Republicans versus Democrats turning out to vote has changed. So in 2020, 12.4 Republicans turned out to vote, 12.9% of Democrats turned out to vote in Texas. But then here in 2020, the Republican number dropped to 11.3, and then the Democratic number dropped to 6.2. So again, Ruben and I will go live on Facebook in the upcoming week to share this data and give you guys graphics to look at and view as we're sharing the information. And if you all can just share it with your networks, that would be greatly appreciated.
Can I add one thing to that? And I know that the time is far spent, but one thing that we definitely want to highlight, there was 1,390,000 plus people registered to vote in Dallas County. And if only 200,017 actually went to go cast a vote, where are the other million people in the county who are not voting? And so that's why this organization, and formulating with our partnerships, we have to do more work to get people to the polls. And I don't know what that's going to be, but 1 million people in the county didn't go vote. And a lot of people are saying they were going to the general in November, but I just think a lot of people, one, didn't know there was an election going on. Somebody mute him. Or it was either they didn't know who to vote for, so they just didn't vote. Or they didn't understand the issue that was tied to them to encourage them why they need to participate. So those are the three things that no matter where space I'm in, I'm trying to highlight: sample ballots, education of dates, education of issues, and how to push people that your voice needs to count and you need to actually exercise your right to vote. And I'll just stop there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sean, you're back on mute. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Ben, for that, for making that addition. That's it for voter registration. Does anyone else have anything to add? Okay, if not, really quick, and we'll ask this throughout the remaining meetings as well. But if you guys need additional support, as in swag and just collateral and stuff to pass out as you guys are doing voter work, let me know. The Mavericks has made an investment to support organizations like ours who are doing good work in the community with swag and materials that help get out the vote. So just so you know, some of the items that we put in or have written down for a request are refrigerator magnets, chip clips, yard signs that just say "get out to vote," kind of like just a sign that can be used throughout the year with no date. But elections are now. I can't think of the term. And then shirts, wristbands, and flyers. So if there's anything else that y'all want to add to that, they are willing to pay for some of those items. And just let me know, and I'll get it over to them. Am I breaking up?
You know the little drawstring bags?
Yes.
See if they'll put that on the list.
Okay. My thing is we just add whatever we can think of to the list, and everyone.
Yeah, I just been trying to think of inexpensive things that normally people pass out. So I know those drawstring bags are normally pretty common. Mark ought to be able to afford that for us.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, as we're getting ready to adjourn, the last thing I was going to say, and I just realized this today. We were planning an early voting block party for the runoff election, but Ruben and Ben brought to my attention that there isn't a weekend a weekend in early voting for the runoff election. So we'll have to figure out what large scale event we could do to bring out people during the week. And we don't have time to discuss it today, but definitely, start to have these brainstorm sessions within your own groups and come back to us with some ideas, and we'll try to work together to pull it off all together.
Maybe on a Friday, Sean, and I didn't make my little short announcement before you adjourn.
Okay.
I want to share the screen. Someone brought something. Can I share now, Sean?
Go ahead. I can't see
Okay,
anyway.
you all. Someone brought to my attention, y'all know I love technology. When you all, those of you that are in the GroupMe chats, and if you're not currently in a GroupMe chat, you need please enter one of them. I did drop that information in the chat, but someone recently showed this to me. You're not going to be able to see it here. I forgot. I'm sorry. But if you look on your phone and you click this right here, under this area, it's going to allow you to add it to your calendar. It's not allowing me because I'm looking at it from my computer. But if you look at that via your from your phone, you should be able to see that. Okay, where you can add it to your calendar. That's what I was trying to show y'all. It was actually pretty neat, but it's not allowing me to do it since I'm looking at it from my computer.
Motion detected at the office.
Also, in the chat, let me stop sharing this. And then the Zoom link, you all, I'm trying to make it easy for you all to keep sharing the same Zoom link, okay? So you all share that. And I apologize, there were a couple of people who contacted me today, but I had appointments, so I apologize that I had slow responses today because I'm normally a little more prompt with sharing information when you all ask for it. But also in the chat, I shared the links. If you did not receive a text message today, it is important, if you're new, that you make sure you register to receive our mass text messages about our meetings, because that's how we notify people via the GroupMe chats and either via the text message. So I think that's all. And if I need, I'll drop the links again for the GroupMe chats. All you got to do is click the links to access it, and I'm trying to find it and I'll drop it again. And again, I apologize to anybody I couldn't get back to earlier today. I'll drop it in the chat. But if you add it to your calendar, you'll have it there as well. So that's an additional help that I just found out about. That's all for me.
Okay. One other announcement I'm going to make on behalf of March to the Polls and SBEC. They are having a student media, voter student media competition, and it's open right now. We'll put the information in the Facebook immediately after this call. And Desiree Rios, who normally sometimes joins these calls, can answer direct questions. But basically, it's a media competition for high schoolers and college students to create assets, collateral, things to help get out the vote. And the individuals have a chance to receive up to $500 in award money for whichever one gets the highest rating. So when I share that information, if you know any high schoolers or college students who are good with graphics or media, have them enter that, and that too can be, things that we share for the general elections to help get out the vote. We know a lot of the things that we miss is, graphic design and the creative piece, and we're hoping that this helps solve some of those problems.
Sean, I do want to share one other thing on my screen. Is that okay?
Yep,
there are some new people on here that me and Sean worked together to do a civic engagement piece. And I know we have a few new people on here who may not have been on here, but I'm just sharing my screen to see how we are growing the network. As being mentioned, and we all have been mentioning on the call today, education. One thing building this community ambassador network When there is an election, when there's runoff elections, we can easily send out mass text messages and emails. Also with the community ambassador program that we've initiated, the civic engagement piece, we have been sharing this information with local colleges and high school students, and also with other general organizations and churches. Anytime you want us to either come to your campus or do a virtual presentation, we will. The unique thing about this program is that it sends out two small 2 to 3 minute videos twice a month. All the person has to do as a community ambassador is watch those 2 videos, and then they get a unique link that they can invite other people into the network. When they do that, watch the 2 videos and refer 2 to 4 people, they get a stipend every month. So they get a payout of $40 every single month that they do those 2 things. Now, of course, they get a stipend. I know they're excited about that. But we as an organization get to educate them on things that are important. There was a video recently on the importance of donating blood. Also, there was one on the 4th Amendment. What are the rights? What are your rights when you get pulled over? Also, there was one on LinkedIn. Everybody knows about Facebook and Twitter, but some people don't know about the importance and professional platform of LinkedIn. So it's a space where we can educate. Also, we can notify people when there are election dates and things coming up. This tool was first initially used in Georgia when they flipped the state. And so because, as Councilman Thomas has mentioned and everybody on the call, Texas is now ground zero. Some of those opportunities were offered for Texas. And so if any of you are interested in sharing this tool and this opportunity with your organization, please let us know. We would love to share it. Again, the hopes is to continue to build this network up because again, the problem is a lot of the work that we do, because it's not utilizing something like this in a centralized location, every single time there's an election, we have to go back and remobilize. We have to keep going back and reaching out to the same people. When if we connect them in this network, when we're having something within the community, we can send out an email. We can include all of these events in an email, and it goes out to everybody in the state of Texas or everybody that's basically connected with the network. So we can send out announcements, we can remind them about the elections that are coming up, but this is a tool that we're able to use to help all of us collectively work together to make an impact and really mobilize people to get out and vote and educate them and advocacy work. So if anybody's interested, let us know that we can share that presentation virtually. And again, they get up to a $40 stipend on they get a debit card, and we add money to that every month. And just for the last election, we had a bonus month where people were able to make up to an additional $1,200 by participating in a survey. And I know I spent like 20 minutes one day, and I think I made $220 just like that. And so again, we'll be utilizing this for the upcoming runoff. So if any of you all would like to provide us that space to share this and invite people, please let us know.
Would like Crystal, if you would send that to me, I'll have a little ad created and put it in the Examiner. That's excellent. I forgot to tell you all also that starting last week in the Dallas Examiner, we will do it every week until the November election. On the front page, we have a section that's called We Vote. And it's written by Louis Bedford, who's an election attorney here in Dallas. And all he does is each week there's one question and he answers that question. And so, you know, there's just so much information, as Crystal was saying, and also Benjamin, we have to do as much as we can in different mediums to get the information out to people. And so I just wanted to make you all aware of that. It also would be on the Dallas Examiner app too, under voter education, voter information, We Vote.
Good. And I have one final thing is to say today, through the Texas NAACP, we're gonna have a Black Male Summit. This is gonna be a one-day training for Black men in particular. We know Black men have one of the lowest voter turnouts. So we're gonna train Black men all over the state of Texas on civic engagement, how to block walk, how to organize, how to do phone banking and texting. So that's going to be July 13th once we get the flyer. So it's just kind of a save the date. So if you know Black men, members of fraternities, other organizations, as well as Masons, if they're interested in participating, just let them know it's coming July 13th for Oak Cliff. We're gonna do this in Oak Cliff, and so as soon as I get more information, we'll share that. So I turn it over to Sean to close out.
Thank you for that information, Councilman Thomas. And basically, you all, what we're doing, and is another thing that they shared in Georgia, is through the statistics and strategy that Councilman Thomas and several of you mentioned today. That data has shown that when we only activate when there's an election coming up, we lose people. And those low propensity voters and people that don't have enough sense to want to vote anyway, that we're trying to convince and yeah, basically it's like the only time you come around is when you want something. So that's why our civic engagement program, the various activations that everybody on this call has talked about, we've got to do it 365 days a year. And then again, with our platform, and all of us, we're finding ways to engage with the people beyond voting. Black Voters Matters does a great deal of that. I know us, one thing our organization does with the civic engagement, if people need food stamps or Medicaid, we process those applications. So we got to find other ways to connect with them outside of voting, so we have a long-term relationship with them other than just when we vote. Sean?
Very good, very good.
Perfect. Thank you for that information, Crystal, Councilman Thomas, Ms. Belt. Last thing as we close out, I just want to note that we're changing the meeting occurrence to the 2nd and 4th Tuesday. Not sure if Councilman Thomas said that in his report earlier, but we'll be sure to continue to send the text messages out to remind everyone about those meetings taking place. But if there isn't anything else, we can adjourn the meeting at this time, and then we'll see you guys and everyone next time. Remember to reach out to us on Facebook or in the group message if you can coordinate and be present and help us register voters at one of our voter hubs next Saturday.